Hello and welcome to Prime Code Media. This is the eighth episode of our HTML for Beginners series. My name is Sana Mapena. In this episode, I'll be showing you how to create the HTML tables. I'm going to use the CodePen to show you how to create a simple HTML table. Mine is going to be a table that has names of four African countries, their capital cities, and their currency codes. So you are free to put in data of your choice in the table. It can be names and surnames of your favorite athletes, actors, favorite cars, whatever. The choice is yours. As I said, mine is going to carry names of four African countries and their capital cities as well as their currency codes. And these countries are going to be in no particular order. The first thing that I am going to do right here is to include the table element like so. It has a closing tag. Now this is our table element. The first thing that you have to create to put in order to create a table. Now following this, I am going to put in the table row using the tr tag, tr for table row. This is the first table row. Now inside our table row is going to have or carry the name of a country and the name of the country, as well as the name of the capital city and the currency code. Now the first country that we are going to include here, I'll include mine. I'll include South Africa. The first thing, but before we include the content or the names of the countries and the capital cities and the currency codes, is to include the TD tag or the TD tag. Yes, like so. Here's the TD tag. The TD tag. This TD for table data. Inside here, we are going to have the content that you're going to have inside each cell. That is the cell content. First, let's put in the name of the country. Okay, we have the name right there. Now, because we are dealing here with the similar content, that is table data, I'm just going to copy this and paste it twice so that we have three items. Here we are going to have uh, the name of the capital city. Ours is Pretoria, and our currency code is ZA. Okay, capital ZAR. Now, this is the first row, as you can see here. This is the first row, TR. Here it is here. This is the first table row. The first table row has three items, and that is the table data. The first is the name of the country, as you can see it right here. Here it is, and then the name of the capital city right here, and the currency code. Now, as I said earlier, we are going to have four countries, so meaning that I can just simply copy this and paste three times so that at the end we end up with four countries. Okay, the only thing that I am going to do is just to change the cell content. Everything is the same. The only thing that I'm going to change is the cell content. Let's put in a different country here. uh, let's put in here Kenya. Their capital is Nairobi. Nairobi. And their currency code is KES, for Kenyan shilling. And then right here, let's put in another country. Let's put in Nigeria. Okay, Nigeria. Their capital is Abuja, and their currency code here is NGN for Nigerian Naira. The last one, let's put in Egypt. Egypt, their capital Cairo, and their currency code EGP, Egyptian pound. Now here we have our table. As you can see, everything is indented. You can see that this is a table. Now if you are looking at this first line here, it might look like it is just a paragraph. For example, let's just put in the same content under here inside a paragraph tag. I just want to show you something before we carry on. Inside a paragraph tag, let's put in this line here. To our eyes, it looks the same as this. Everything looks the same when you're looking at this, but it is not. It is not the same. This is a paragraph. This is a paragraph, and this is content inside an HTML table. Now, for us to be able to see clearly that this is actually a table, let's just include borders inside this table, and we will be able to see that it's something quite different. Let's put in a inside here, let's put in a border. Now here it is. So it is a table, as you can see clearly now that everything is inside its own. The content is inside its own cell, and these cells are stacked on top of each other, forming columns. So when we create these tables, what we use, as you can see the syntax here, the first thing that we included the table element. Inside table element, we included table rows. These are the table rows, and then they are stacked on top of each other. Inside each table row, we have the table data. We use the TD tags. Inside these TD tags, we have the table content or the cell content. And then once we have done that, this is what we get as an outcome or as a result. Now, what I also want to discuss or to show you is that when you create these tables, you can also have you can also structure your table in such a way that it has a table head, a table body, and a table footer. Let us include a table head inside here. Let's just create space. We'll get this back. Okay, let's here create a table head. To do that, we use the T head tag. We use the T head tag inside the T head. We are going to have the T the table row. Let's include the tr tag here. Now the first tr tag. Inside the first tr tag, we can include, we are going to include the th for table header cell. Okay, forward slash, there is a closing tag. This is a table header cell. Inside this table, this row, we are going to, obviously, because we have three items, we are going to, let me just copy this table header tag and paste it 3 times. The first thing that we are going to put in here is country. Let's say okay, capital city, and then we are going to have currency code. Now our table looks a bit different from how it was before we added the table head. Initially we did not have the table head, so this is how the table head, and by default, as you might have already noticed, the the content inside the th tag or the table header cell here is already bolded. It's in bold, and this is by default because we used the th tag. So the browser is able to interpret and render this accordingly because it is different from a td, that is a table data. This is a table header uh, uh, a table header cell, so it looks different. That is why you can see the text is bold right here. So this is the table head that we have included to our table. Now we are also going to put everything right here from the bottom inside a table body. I'll explain why it is so important to have this. Let's go down here and include a table body. We are going to use a, let me just create space so that we are able to see what we are creating clearly. Let's put in the t body tag, t body for our table body, and then let's just open it up. Now we are going to cut everything from here, right from here up to right here. Let's cut this and put everything inside the table body. Right, let's just make sure this is just back here. Now this is how our table looks when everything now is divided into table head and table body. What we have not included is just the table footer, but we will be able to include it in the same way that we included the table body and the table head. Now looking at this, you can see that nothing much has changed. The the table still looks the same. Now you might be wondering, but why is it so important to divide everything into table body, table head, and so on, if everything at the end of the day is still going to look the same? This is important because it allows us to isolate the parts of a table. Maybe if we want to style them differently, or we want them to behave differently. Maybe, for example, when it gets to a point where we are now using JavaScript, we want maybe the head to behave differently from the body. Or if we are using CSS, for example, we can isolate the head and style it differently from the body. Let's just do some styling. We'll use inline CSS to style our table. just to show you that we can be able to isolate individual parts of this table, and we are able to do that because we have divided our table into these sections, body and head. Let's give our table head a background color, different background color. Let's just say style here. Uh, uh, okay, let's give it a blue background color, and this is the color of our table head. Now, yes, you can see now our table head is now blue, and we were able to only change the table head. Look at our body. The body is still the same. Nothing has changed with regards to the body. So we can go down to the body and maybe, for example, give it a different uh, background color. Uh, background color. Let's just give it a red. The aim is just to show that we can isolate individual components of this table. Now, here's how our body looks like. So we would not be able to do this, to style the body differently from the head, if we did not put these parts of the table into separate sections, or if we did not uh, break down our table in terms of the body and the head. So this is why it is important. Although the table will still look the same even without us including the table body and the table head, but it is important that we include them so that we are able to target individual components or specific parts of the table and work with them separately. Here to wrap up, let us again take a look at the syntax. Here we have the table head. Now, as I said earlier, we have first the table element. We include the table element. That is the first thing that you do. And then inside the table element, we have the table head. Inside the table head, we have the table row. The table row, inside the table row, we have three items. So we have three table header cells. Each table header cell has a cell content. The first one here is country, capital city, and currency here. So this is how the syntax looks like. This is how you will create the table head, and you'll start with the table element, follow it with the table head, the table row. Remember, the table rows will be stacked on top of each other, and by so doing you will be creating table columns. Now here in this example, we have the th, or the table header cell. The table headers cell, they inside them they carry the content that you'll find inside the cells, and by default this table the content will be bold. And then the table body, obviously, as we mentioned this earlier, everything will start with the table element. The table body starts with the t body tag. Inside the t body tag you'll find the table rows starting with the tr tag. Inside the tr tag you'll find the table data. Inside the table data you'll find the content. As you can see here, we have Pretoria, South Africa, Pretoria, and ZAR as the current currency code. For further reading on this topic, I'll recommend that you check out MDN Web Docs. There's lots of information about the HTML table elements and different attributes like border, cell padding, cell spacing, and so on. But as you can see, there are trash bins next to these attributes, and this is because these attributes are deprecated. What this means is that the use of these attributes is no longer recommended. This is because you can use CSS instead of these attributes and still achieve the same results. And that way, we are able to use HTML mainly for structure, CSS for styling, and JavaScript for behavior. Now that we have learned how to create the HTML tables, in our next episode, we will go back to our website project and use what we have learned to structure the content of our website or to affect the layout of our website. Please subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon to get notifications when new videos come out. Thank you so much for watching. Until we code again next time, goodbye.